Hello, and you're all very welcome along to the latest Champ.ie podcast, Ireland's premier horse racing podcast in association with Boylesports, Gowran Park Racecourse, EJ Menswear and Shamrock Thoroughbreds.
As they race up the hill towards the finish, Hark the Herald here on Perry Pass has absolutely bolted up under Paul Townend. On Perry Pass won by wide margin. On the final 150 yards, it's Irish point for Marie National, who's coming with every stride. They're going to the line. Irish point, Marie National on the near side.
If you haven't already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Champ.ie YouTube channel, as it helps to get horse racing content out there to the wider audience. We look forward to reading all your hashtag 5cast selections in the comments section below. Enjoy the show.
Boylesports. Don't just bet, choose wisely.
Hello, and you're all very welcome along to the latest edition of Champ.ie. It is, of course, as you might have guessed by the merchandise, Connolly Red Mills Day coming your way at Gowran Park on Saturday this week, and it should be an absolute belter of a day. And of course, as always, Champ.ie, we are brought to you in association with our very kind sponsors, and that, of course, Gowran Park Racecourse, EJ Menswear, Shamrock Thoroughbreds, and Boylesports, our betting partner. We've lots to come on the show. We've the Gowran Park preview for this weekend. We've also got the 5cast selections to get you involved in. Our very special guest this week is Henry De Bromhead. We've Jane Davis coming on from Red Mills, and we have Boylesports representative coming on the show as well with the details for next Thursday night's big preview night down at Limerick Racecourse. Barry, how are you this week?
Good. Wasn't a bad weekend last weekend. Vernon Place, of course, winning at Navan on the Sunday. And really like the performance of Sober Glory last week, Dave. If anyone was listening to the show, Micheál Nolan, very, very complimentary. 11-2 winners. Well, that's a smart horse going forward.
It certainly is. And hats off to you as well, because I've had quite a few people meet me during the week and they said, this Barry Doyle guy, he's making my weekend in the last couple of weeks with these very nice big price winners. I said, well, let's hope it continue on this week's show, and we hope it will.
Boylesports. Don't just bet, choose wisely.
Well, before we head into looking at our 5cast races on the show this week, our very special guest is Henry De Bromhead. And here's a little teaser of what's to come later on.
She's got a great attitude anyhow, and she's got a high cruising speed and seems to be able to quicken off it. So she's got everything you want, really.
Yeah, she's got everything you want, really. And with Cheltenham just around the corner, you need that, don't you? Right, our 5cast races this week. We've got the first to look at, which, of course, is the Kingwell Hurdle. It's the Grade 2, Barry, 136. I'm intrigued to know, are you going with a selection A or B in this one?
Well, there's A, B, or C. I think there's definitely 3 with a chance, David. I'll come down on what I think is the classiest horse in the race. And she looks well in for me on ratings and looking at race condition. This Golden Ace, it's 5-2. I think these prices might move closer together. Look, Burdett Road, I mean, he looked really well handicapped, didn't he, heading into the Greatwood Hurdle. We put him up earlier on in the, I suppose, in the year or the season on the show for the Greatwood, and he's progressed nicely to achieve a rating of 150. I mean, he's rated 111 on the level. All his best form, Dave, appears to be on a little bit of a nicer surface. And look, there's 6 mil of rain due on Friday, and a small little bit on Saturday morning. I just think with the rain forecast, Golden Ace, looking at race conditions, I mean, she's rated 144. She's getting £8 off Burdett Road, who's rated 150 here. I think the standout piece of form coming into this race for many of the runners is last year's victory in the Mayor's Novices Hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival, where she got up to beat Brighter Days Ahead. Plenty will say, was that really the real Brighter Days Ahead? For me, it's the best form coming in here. And I'm intrigued with her stepping back and trip. Both her starts this season were over, the extended 2 mile 4 furlongs. We haven't seen the real Golden Ace. I think she's been geared up for a spring campaign. And if she's any business, in my opinion, going to a Mayor's Hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival and winning, I think she needs to be taking care of both Brentford Hope and Burdett Road, looking at race conditions. So Jeremy Scott starting to hit a little bit of form again. And, he's had 46 winners since 2010 at Wincanton. It's very much more or less a home venue for him. And I think she'll be fairly wound up. 5-2, even money. I think both prices will move closer together. I'm not saying she'll go off favoured, but I think she'll be well backed. And 5-2 represents reasonable value, I thought, in a 4-runner race. That even though there's 4 runners in there, Dave, there's pace on. She's a strong travelling type who does stay well. We've seen that. So I think she'll get a nice toe into the race, and I think she'll take quite a bit of stopping. Yeah,
well, I'm going to go against you here. I'm very much in the camp of Birdhead Road. I think form behind Constitution Hill and Lossiemouth. Okay, I hear you on the rain that might be forecast, but I still think James Owen's charge should be very difficult to beat. But I do agree with you. It's that kind of a race that any one of 3 possibly can come out on top. Right, the second race we're going to look ahead at is at Ascot on Saturday. It's the 2 mile 3 handicap hurdle. Now, this is a real cracker of a race, and as the market would suggest, it is pretty open. Around 4-1 joint favourites AntePost and Jayu Mashan with Boylesports for this one. But I think there could be plenty of bigger price ones in here, Barry, that have good chances.
I have to agree with you, Dave. I mean, AntePost, we were on when he won at Ascot last time, and he scraped home, jumped the last messy. I think, in time, he's probably going to be a better horse up and trip, and even with a fence in front of him. I mean, he's the shoulder 12 stone around here. And I actually don't think, I don't think there's any rain. Just looking at the forecast, it's good to soft ground officially. There's no rain scheduled, according to Norwegians, Dave, between now and Saturday afternoon at 2:25. He scraped home. I mean, he's carry 12 stone, as mentioned. The one I like in here is Classic King at a big price. You're getting double figures, 10-1 for Emma Lavelle, whose stable are absolutely rocking at the moment. 27% strike rate for the stable. And I thought he won a shade snug on just a 7 start over hurdles after being campaigned over fences for the first half of the season, reverted back over hurdles at Doncaster last time. I thought it was a snug victory. The handicapper, I think he's been quite lenient. It's only given him £5. And this is obviously coming into the weekend, just the second run in a handicap company. They omitted the last 2 hurdles at Doncaster when he won last time. And, he's obviously proven stamina. That's not going to be an issue. The ground, I mean, all 3 of his wins have come when there's been good in the ground description. So I think there's more to come on just a second start in handicap company over hurdles. Classic King, 10-1. I thought there was a couple of these towards the head of the market, including AntePost and Joyo Mashin that you could take on here. And 10-1. I don't see this horse starting double figures, Dave, in truth.
Right. Before we head into our first ad break, we are going to look at the 3 mile Swindy handicap, the Premier handicap. That is the 3 o'clock contest at Ascot, Barry. And what way do you think we should play on here?
Well, Lucy Wadham, I mean, I was really, really impressed with Telepathic, who I think is a big contender for the Mayor's Chase at the Cheltenham Festival. She's doing well with these mares, isn't she, Lucy Wadham? And she seems to, if you look at, I suppose, at these mares and what they're improving from for fences, I mean, Telepathic has improved the guts of £40. Teresita was only rated 115, I think, over hurdles. She's improved no end for a fence. And I was really taken by her performance at Ascot last time, over 2.5 miles. A £6 rise, I thought was fair enough, to be fair. She's rated 140 now. She was given a patient ride by Gavin Sheehan over 2.5 miles, basically just joined in at the last. She jumps well. And I think she is on exposed, moving up and trip, to 3 miles and beyond. And that's what I like. I mean, she's only having her 4th start of the season, so she hasn't been overfaced. And a 13-2. Looking at the top of the market, Dave, I was happy to take on Victorino. That scraped home and beating the Changing Man last time. Hastings for the John Joe Neal stable. I thought that took a long time to get going before winning last time. You could say it won a shade snug, and there could be more to come, but I'd be happy to take him on. And 300-5 won the race last season. So an unexposed mare moving up and trip to 3 miles off the back of a good effort over at Ascot. Ground is not going to be an issue either. I mean, she's won 4 times on decent ground, so the lack of rain isn't going to be a worry. Lucy Wadham's mare, Teresita, 13-2. One of my better bets of the weekend, Dave.
That's our first 3 races of our 5 cast looked at this week. We'll be back to look ahead to the Ascot Chase, the Grade 1 and the Grand National Trial Premier Handicap right after our first break. From Dundalk to Longchamp, from the Galway races to the Breeders' Cup, Shamrock Thoroughbreds have taken owners all over the world.
Tiger Bell in front, holds them. Late on the scene is Dawn Charger storming home, but Tiger Bell in front and won.
Coming through the centre, Laugh a Minute with a strong challenge on this Laugh a Minute, who goes on in the closing stages to win by a length and a half. Laugh a Minute from Fiscal Roots.
But it's Harry's Bar repelling the late challenge of the stable companion Dream today, and Harry's Bar makes it 6-course win.
Check out shamrockthoroughbreds.com or click the link in the Champ.ie podcast video description to learn more about new racehorse ownership opportunities. Yes, well, Stephen Thorne well represented once again on Friday night's card at Dundalk.
Absolutely. I mean, what did he have? He's had 10 winners now, Stephen Thorne, since taking out the licence. And perfect judgment, landed the hat-trick last weekend. And I suppose a big shout out to Stephen and his wife with a newborn child as well. So it's all very, very exciting in the land of Shamrock Thoroughbreds and Stephen Thorne Racing, Dave. And I'm sure they'll be absolutely gunning once again this weekend, or this Friday, should I say, at Dundalk. Second in the winter all-weather championship as well. So it's all systems go for Friday night, Dave.
Yes, absolutely is. Right, let's move on with our final two races then in the 5-cast this week. We move to the 337. That's at Ascot, of course. It's a cracking race. It's a great one to look forward to on this Saturday afternoon. And it might just be the 6 runners in here with Corbett's Cross. Barry, I was watching the road to Cheltenham on the Monday. You put him up at 20-1 for an outsider for the Gold Cup. Corbett's Cross on Saturday. He's declared with Mark Walsh going across the right.
22-1, Dave, each way. I thought it was, the race. We could have a Gold Cup this year with less than 8 runners, incredibly. There's every possibility. And I suppose looking at Emmett Mullins, I was hoping we might see him in Gowran Park. He's gone overseas, which I think is a statement in itself. I mean, the roll of honour of the Ascot Chase, Q-Card, Shishkin, Fakir Dudari, with Sylvan Iacco, Conti. So good horses have won this particular contest in the past. And Q-Card, of course, did win this en route to win it at the Cheltenham Festival, albeit the Ryanair Chase. But looking at his profile, I think he's a proven stayer with a touch of class. Corbett's Cross. I mean, he's only had 8 starts over fences. For me, like, if you're looking at the conditions of this race, ground and trip would be slight question marks, but like if he's going to be a Gold Cup horse, Dave, he has to be taking care of this lot, doesn't he? I mean, Laham Press, I thought that was a terrible Cotswolds Chase in truth. I don't think that's Gold Cup form. Looking, I suppose, the horses in here, plenty of them have had problems. First run back after wind surgery, Pictory, he won the race last season. I just think there's plenty of them vulnerable. And looking at the pace angle in the race, that's the key part here. 2-1 Corbett's Cross. I think it'll be absolutely smashed up, Dave, in truth. I think it'll win. And I think it'll be a big, big player for the Gold Cup. Albeit, I think that the trip is probably, it's not the ideal trip for Corbett's Cross, but I think it still should have the class to win. It's rated 163. Don't forget, I mean, people that will be talking about trip for Corbett's Cross, this horse was entitled to run in an Arkle if you take its hurdles form literally. It beats last year's second in the Arkle, found a 50 over hurdles at Naas. So he's not short of pace. The question is, how will this jumping lie up? I think with the pace angle in here, Pictory, Laham Press and La Patron, they'll be going forward.
Coming away at Haydock, it's the 3:15, and I'm going to get some good clues for the Grand National, of course. This is the Grand National Trial Handicap Chase, Premier Handicap, over 3.5 miles, and some old favourites in here, including the likes of Royal Pagay, Fontaine Collonge, Yemen goes across for Gavin Cromwell and Sean Flanagan. This is a good race, Barry. Good renewal. Gordon Elliott is well represented here. Can the Irish have a hand in this?
Man, look, he was well fancy for the Thyestes, wasn't he? Finished 4th. Nick Rocket, now they're talking about Nick Rocket, the winner of the Thyestes, being supplemented for a Gold Cup. So how do you take the form? I mean, he won this race last season. His only win over fences did come at Haydock. We know what Gavin Cromwell is like in terms of placing horses, not just in Ireland, but when he brings them across the water. Royal Pagay's in here. I mean, I don't know how you could face him ever again in his career. He's looking 12 stone around Haydock once again. Haydock is that sort of course specialist track. Looking at the stats and looking at the runners in here, 10 runners, 5 of them have won at Haydock in the past. I mean, that could be a pointer for some. I think the key part here is with Royal Pagay in here, there's a good few of these actually running from out of the handicap, and I don't think that's ideal. Jubilee Alpha, he's 5-1 with Sam Thomas on the show, building up to I suppose the Christmas period in racing. He was well fancied for a Welsh national. I would have said he would have been fairly straight for a Welsh national this second, as did Val Dancer. They've both been given 50 days, but he's eight pounds out of the handicap Jubilee Express here. He is Sam Thomas's only runner of the weekend, so I wouldn't totally rule him out. But the one I like in here at double figures, Apple Away, is a horse I do not think. First of all, I think she's well handicapped, and second of all, I don't think we've seen the best of her over fences. She ran the Ascot Chase last season after finishing second in Medalstown at this same exact weekend last season at Ascot. She's only had the 9 starts over fences. When we had Derek O'Connor on the show last year, Dave, he was absolutely raving about her. You know, he more than said she was the real deal. I think that was the exact quote. Off 138, she's £2 lower over fences than her hurdles mark. I think she's a grade 1 winner actually over hurdles as a novice, and beyond 3 miles. You know, I don't think I'd be concerned about the a stamina issue here. And Lucinda has won this race back in 2015, so I just think 14 to 1 is a crazy price about Apple Away. And I think with the 10 runners in here, she's a right good each way bet with Derek Fox on board 10 stone too.
Yeah, and I think Phoenicia Williams, runner Fontaine Callange, who ran in the Welsh National, who I was pretty keen on the chances of on the day. Draw a line through that run. Go back on its previous race win at Haydock over 3 miles and 1. And I think this 14 to 1 with Ned Fox on board, I think that's value for the 3:15 on Saturday. That big Grand National Trial Premier Handicap. Right, well, we're going to head into our next break. And right after this, we're going to hear from this week's very special guest, Henry De Bromhead.
Yes, so hello, Barry Doyle from the Champ.ie podcast, Ireland's premier horse racing podcast. I'm here with my co-host, David Byrnes, and we're here in Sligo Town, David, in EJ Menswear and EJMenswear.com. Fantastic season ahead. EJ has kindly partnered up with us to be the men's fashion partner with Champ.ie for the season. And David, we're suited and booted. You're looking sharp.
Yeah, well, thanks very much. And this fantastic bundle and this outfit we're wearing is costing $2.99. It sets you up beautifully for the racing season ahead, which includes Leopardstown at Christmas, Thyestes Day at Gowran Park, and of course, if you want to go even bigger, you can get togged out for the Cheltenham and Aintree festivals later on in the season.
Absolutely, and of course, check out the Champ.ie podcast right through the season, Mondays and Thursdays, and look at the offer. The tailored bundle for the racing season, $2.99, blazer, shirt, chino, socks and shoes. What's not to like, lads? Check out EJMenswear.com to find out all the race. Obviously, Henry, the spring is on the horizon, the Cheltenham Festival on the way. You have a team of nice novices heading into the festival. Obviously, the big Westerner, she could be a big player in the Albert Bartlett.
Hopefully, yeah, she's done nothing wrong so far. She's in good form. We backed off her after Christmas and looking forward to getting her there, yeah.
What do you think are her biggest strengths, Henry?
Oh, she seems to. She's got a great attitude, anyhow, and she's got a high cruising speed and seems to be able to quicken off it. So she's got everything you want, really.
Henry, other novices to mention, obviously Therese. She was very impressive at Navan at the weekend.
Yeah, won well. Yeah, she was good. She picked up really well. And yeah, delighted for her owner, Sally Rhodey Williams. She'd come all the way over from America for the race, so delighted for her. She'll probably go for, once there's a good dig in the ground, she'll go for the Mare's Novice Hurdle at Cheltenham.
The other one to mention, Work Ahead. His jumper was absolutely brilliant at Leopardstown, Henry.
Yeah, he jumped brilliant there. Yeah, delighted with him. Put up a lovely performance. Mikey O'Connor gave him a great ride. And yeah, he really... he was really impressive. So looking forward to running him in the Supreme.
How's he been since Leopardstown?
Yeah, great form. Yeah, backed off him as well and just tuning him up now to go there.
Another big player, July Flower. Fancy her chances in the mares?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she's a really nice mare. She was very good at Christmas, first run back for us. And yeah, we're training her for the mares. And she's also in the stayers, but I'd imagine we'd be leaning towards the mares.
Henry, wanted to ask you about Jungle Boogie, 11 years of age, but a lightly raced 11-year-old. Could he be one maybe stepping back and obviously ran the Gold Cup last season? But in the Ryanair, would you make him a big player?
I would hope so. Yeah, I'd hope he'd run very well. He was very good at Christmas in Ascot. And he's, yeah, you know, I think he actually went a bit left there as well. So you'd hope that going left-handed would suit him. And I think he could run a big race. Yeah.
He's a fine horse, Henry. Big individual.
Yeah, lovely big horse. Yeah.
Monty Star, Henry, how has he been?
Yeah, he's been good. We've had a very interrupted season with him. Starting back in August, he had a setback, and then again in November. So it's been hard to get him right, but he's coming. He still took a little blow at Leopardstown the other day, but ran very well, I thought, up until just before the last, and then he just got a bit tired. So hopefully we'll have him spot on for the Gold Cup.
Speaking of Gold Cups, Manila Endo, of course, he's not getting any younger, but he ran a cracker at Navan at the weekend.
Yeah, he ran well. Ground was probably a bit gluey for him. He wasn't mad about it. And, his age, we don't want to be knocking him around don't want to be too hard on him. But he ran well. Rachel was happy with him, and he'll go for the Grand National.
Envoy Allen, a winner at Down Royal once again this season. All systems go to the Ryanair?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously getting a bit older now, like a couple of hours, but he's in mighty form. We freshened him up after Kempton, and he's sort of similar season to the year he won the Ryanair. He won in the North, and then he ran bad at Kempton, and then he won the Ryanair. So he's sort of similar on the same sort of trajectory as that season. Yeah.
Horse that placed in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle last season, Henry, birdie or bust. How is she, and will she head to the festival?
She won't. No, she's on a break now, and she'll come back in the spring, late spring.
Definitely the social side.
The atmosphere.
Unreal. Look, atmosphere class. Racing is good and going.
All the glamour.
The atmosphere, the people, the crack.
Getting to see the horses and the trainers and the jockeys up first and close.
Seeing beautiful thoroughbreds competing because they're the most majestic animals you've ever seen.
Yes, well, Red Mills Day, of course, this is Saturday at Gowran Park Racecourse, and it was great to hear there as well from Henry De Bromhead and his team ahead of Cheltenham in a couple of weeks. We're delighted to be joined by Jane Davis of Red Mills. Jane, we had Thyestes Day behind us, and that was some day a few weeks ago. We're so looking forward to Red Mills Day, and a big thank you for talking us out for this week's show and some fabulous gear.
I have to say, you wear it well, guys. Thanks a million.
Great racing on Saturday, and we're expecting a great day. Tell us all about Red Mills Day from your side.
Oh yeah, again, it's a highlight of our year, particularly the highlight of the start of the new year for us. So once Thyestes comes and passes, it's all roads lead to the Red Mills Day at Gowran. So it's a great way to start the year. And we get a real kick out of the interest. Like, this is the third year Connie's Red Mills has sponsored the gate. So that decision was taken after COVID. We used to do some other initiatives on the day, but it all involved getting people into marquees and things like that, which just didn't feel quite comfortable in the aftermath of COVID. So the decision was taken by the Connolly family to sponsor the gate. So everybody got to benefit from that and come in and enjoy the day. And it's gone from strength to strength. Eddie and the team at Gowran, as everyone knows, do an absolutely brilliant job. It's entertainment from start to finish, brilliant racing and entertainment throughout the day. So yeah, there's been huge interest. The tickets have flown out this year, and we're dying to welcome a good crowd on Saturday.
And the racing itself on Saturday, because we've got two really good lots of entries for the Red Mills Chase and Red Mills Hurdle this weekend.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, they've always produced really exciting races. And I think this is Willie. I think he's on the run for his 5th Red Mills Chase in a row. And obviously St. Sam coming back to try and make it a double. So again, that should prove, even though it was a small but select field, it should prove really interesting as well. And it's interesting, Henry's runner journey for me, he's actually a graduate of the Red Mills RSUBF auction series. He won a really competitive winners race in Nace there a couple of years ago and has gone on since to win a grade 2. So it's good to see him lining up as well. So yeah, and then the Red Mills Hurdle, again, like, we've seen some incredible winners in the Red Mills Hurdle over the year. Even this year, like, you see Tiapu heading for the stairs, he's a graduate of the Red Mills Hurdle as well. And this year again, a really good lineup. So we're looking forward to seeing who comes out on top.
And Jane, just from the point of view of the day itself, I'm just love watching the Red Mills social media posts with the great fashion that as well that we can look forward to on the day. And of course, Red Mills, the clothes line that you have is really tremendous as well.
Yeah, the store was launched, I think 2017 it first opened, so it's located there just on the outskirts of Kilkenny near Killeen Hill, and it's been a great showcase. There's everything under the one roof in the Red Mill store. You can get everything from your animal feed to sprays and chemicals through to high fashion. So it really does cater for everyone, and we've the lovely cafe there as well. But the store is a big part of the Red Mills Day now. Like I said, going racing is about having a good day out. It is entertainment from start to finish that the whole family can go. The guys, the girls, the kids, everyone can I suppose enjoy a really, really good day. So there's something for everyone. If it's the top class, if it's the racing you're into, if it's the sport, if it's the restaurant, but the fashion side as well is a big part of the day. And we'll have the style awards kicking off from early in the day. So I think while you guys are getting your morning line and your preview going in the parade ring, we'll have the fashion shows starting in the style marquee. So we have Marietta Doran, and Derval Mead this year is going to be our guest judge. So, I mean, anyone who knows Derval going to the races, she's unbelievably stylish and has a really brilliant practical approach to going racing. It is a long day. It is February. It's outside. You're going to be cold. You're going to be on your feet all day. So to make it an enjoyable day, it is about tugging out stylishly but comfortably and practically. So there is prizes for the most stylish lady and gentleman at the races on Saturday. So it should be really good.
Fantastic card, Jane. Fantastic, I suppose, running order. We're looking forward to, I suppose, the morning line show, as you mentioned, prior to racing. That's kicking off pretty early. And I believe myself and Davy Boland of Racing's Inside Track TV are going to be catching up with, I suppose, the winning connections throughout the day in the parade ring as well. So really looking forward to it. Thanks very much, by the way, for kitting us out. I suppose the competition, what do we want viewers to do down below for a chance to win some Red Mills merchandise? Dave, you're wearing the hat. I'm missing the hat, but the jacket, I suppose, well, a gilet, a hat. We want viewers to, down below, put in their 5 casts for this week's show, and also let us know who will win the Red Mills Chase and Hurdle 2025. Right. Really good winner of the race last year, Jane. And St. Sam, you mentioned that'd be a story now if he was to make a back-to-back wins in the chase.
Yeah. Absolutely, it would. And I think another thing that's important to note on the day is we do a huge amount with the stable staff in the stable yard. So before racing, we'll be set up there for a couple of hours and we have our spin to win. We have lots of goodies and lots of giveaways because I think it's our chance to recognize the work that goes in. You know, we get to kind of, I suppose, see the horses on the track. We see how beautifully turned out they are in the parade ring. We see how fit and well cared for they are. So for us to be able to recognize that contribution of the stable staff, and we have great fun in the stable yard before racing, before things get really serious and they get busy. It's nice just to be able to say thank you, have a bit of crack, get to know them, and give out some goodies. So that's a big shout out to all the stable staff. I think, you know, the weather we've had since the start of this year, to think people are out there morning, noon and night, hail, rain or snow, caring for these animals. It's a huge part of the industry and we just want to show our appreciation.
Horses maybe that have stood out for you over the season, you know, horses that are fed on Red Mills, what are you looking forward to in relation to the Cheltenham Festival?
Oh, it's a tough one. I suppose, look, I'm one of the biggest Galloping de Champs fans that ever walked. I think was lucky enough to be in Willie's there a couple of weeks ago for one of the media mornings and got to see him in the flesh. Like when you see animals like that and you see him power through the finish line up the hill at Leopardstown and Paul taking half the track to pull him up, like it's really phenomenal to think that he's been fueled by all the feed that's made here in Gores Bridge. So I mean that the whole nutrition for these racehorses, like it's no difference to us humans. It is performance nutrition. It is about tailoring their diets to support their performance, their recovery, their stamina, how they come out of their races. And when you think how competitive the back end of the season gets and you're bouncing from festival to festival, you know, to see horses line up at Cheltenham, Aintree and maybe rock up at Punchestown, and some do, like that's phenomenal when you think what those horses have to be able to put out. So, you know, you hear a lot of the trainers, you hear a lot of the jockeys talk about like the fuel, you know, what they put into them, what stokes the engine. And I suppose everything we do here at Red Mills is just about creating those high quality feeds. And you know, it's no different to ourselves. You're looking at the quality sources of protein, you're looking at the quality sources of grains and carbohydrates that are going to fuel these animals to do the job, and the high spec vitamin and mineral packages that goes into the products. Like there's a huge amount of science that goes into making them. And again, these animals deserve it. They are incredible athletes. And as you say, the season really heats up from here on in.
Brian Doyle Jane will be disappointed if he doesn't get a shout out in the show. A word for the feed man.
Oh, Brian, I tell you, the legend here at Red Mills on the road with his incredibly beautiful lorry. He gets 10 out of 10 marks every time I pass him on the road. It's always sparkling. And he's servicing some of the biggest customers we have around the country, and does it always with a smile on his face. So fair play to Brian.
Dave, anything else to mention to Jen?
I don't think so. I think it's just a case of wishing you the very best of luck for Saturday.
Yeah.
It's going to be a cracking day at Gowran Park, and best of luck for the year ahead. And we look forward to Cheltenham, Jane, of course, in a couple of weeks' time.
Absolutely. Thanks a million, guys. Look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Boylesports. Don't just bet, choose wisely.
Right, it is Red Mills Day on Saturday at Gowran Park. We're going to look ahead to two of the big races, which are, of course, the Red Mills Hurdle and the Red Mills Chase. Firstly, Barry, what wins the Red Mills Trial Hurdle?
Quite simple, Dave. I think Paul Town and Willie Mullins, interesting actually. They have only won this twice in the last 10 years, Close Sutton. And I think they've a real strong hand. Look at the race conditions in Kitts Bruhel. Obviously, has only had the one start for Willie Mullins, had 3 starts in France. Was a winner, got up to beat Colonel Mustard, of course, off level weights. Colonel Mustard, of course, rated 146, peaked at an even higher rating. And this has gone on to win very, very nicely. Made all. Very, very uncomplicated ride. I thought that punches down back at the 10th of December. And looks a really big player for this. Looking at the ground, obviously at Gowran Park, soft ground at the moment. Looking at its French form, I don't think it's going to be an issue. If it's to take its rating literally, given the fact that, look, it's getting £5 from Beacon Edge, Sir Gerhard, he looks a little bit regressive to me. I think it's pretty straightforward here. Could be a real good day as well for Willie Mullins and Paul Townend at, of course, Gowran Park. That leads me on to the Chase, Dave, and looking for best bets on the card. I thought at Gowran Park, obviously the Chase, the 3 runners. It's a quality 3 runners though. In fairness, of a course winner in Classic Getaway, and that's obviously getting £5 from Journey With Me, who won his bumper at Gowran Park, and also finished ahead of St. Sam at Fairyhouse in the spring. But St. Sam, Willie Mullins really likes to target one at the Chase. He's going for 4 wins on the bounce in the Red Mills Chase. One with St. Sam, Janet Mellon, and looking at, I suppose, over the last decade, has won it with Ballycasey and Champagne Fever as well. So favourites, really good record in the race. It's even money. St. Sam best price at the moment. If you're looking for, I suppose, a banker bet at Gowran Park, has to come in the Chase and it has to come with St. Sam. Just the 3 runners. Journey With Me is a horse, Dave, I've always thought wanted further. I think the same with Classic Getaway. St. Sam more or less made all last year. I think he'll do the same in the Chase this year. And look, there's good racing at Gowran Park at the weekend, but I don't know, are you in agreement? I just thought St. Sam and Kitts Bruhel, I thought the Paul Townend double, it's probably keep it simple at Gowran on Saturday.
I'm not going to argue with you. I think you've picked the 2 winners of those 2 races on Saturday. But now it's time for us to select our nap selections. And Barry, I'm going to just jump in and give my nap for the weekend. I love this horse. Derry Hassan Paddy runs in the Grade 2 at the weekend at Haydock. He is on a real crest of a wave at wins at Uttoxeter, and the way he won at Windsor last time at 3 miles, could be any amount of improvement still left in him for Lucinda Russell and Derek Fox. And I'm really, really sweet on Derry Hassan Paddy in the 350 as my nap pick for the weekend at Haydock.
Boylesports. Don't just bet, choose wisely.
Barry, next best pick of the weekend.
Yeah, and Derry Hassan Paddy, Dave, have to agree with everything you said. Obviously unbeaten so far, 3 from 3 for Lucinda Russell. This is the next big star of the Lucinda Russell stable, and look, chalked up on the tissue price 4-1. Derry Hassan Paddy, I have to say, really like its chances in that Albert Bartlett, the 350 at Haydock. Nap pick of the weekend, Dave, Golden Ace. I just think she's the best horse in the lineup. 4 runners, obviously, in the Kingwell. The race, I think, will be run to suit. Pace on with Burdett Road and with Brentford Hope. The Rain Dew is going to help her chances. Set up for a big spring campaign. Dropping back and trip is going to suit. Golden Ace 5-2. That's the nap. And Apple Away. I think it could be a big day at Haydock on Saturday for Lucinda Russell. 14-1. Far too big. That's my each way pick of the weekend in that Grand National Trial on Expose. Moving up in trip to the extended 3 mile and 4 furlongs in the Grand National Trial. So that's my lot. And just 2 other to mention, Dave, at Gowran Park before we finish up. Hudson for the Ella Marie Holden Yards. Rachel Blackmore, a very eye-catching booking. Tongue strap on for the first time in the opener at Gowran Park for a local stable. Finished 5th on a stable debut over hurdles. Came obviously with some decent enough form from France. Hudson. And the other one to mention in the 415, won a beginner's chase at Gowran Park at the beginning of the season. Noble Talent for the Tom Nagel stable. Danny Mullins on board once again. 2nd run in a handicap chase. Noble Talent. I thought had a good chance at Gowran Park on Saturday afternoon at 4:15.
Excellent. Well, we hope you have find some winners out there, and hopefully we've helped you to find some winners. And just in a couple of moments, we're going to be catching up with Brian O'Keefe of Boylesports. Yes, well, welcome back to Champ.ie this week. We have a great show, of course, behind us, and wonderful to hear from Henry De Bromhead. And great to see his team are just building up nicely ahead of the Cheltenham Festival in a couple of weeks' time. Well, tease us up nicely for the build-up for the Boylesports and association with Sport Joe Destination Cheltenham Preview Night at Limerick Racecourse on Thursday, the 20th of this month. And what a lineup they have. To tell us more about that is Brian O'Keefe from Boylesports. Brian, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, lads. We're starting to enter busy season now. You're looking very dapper as well in your Red Mills gear ahead of this
We're
weekend.
waiting for the Boylesports jacket, Brian. We're waiting on the Boylesports jackets.
I'll drop some in next time I'm in the office. But no, lots to look forward to. We've got so much coming up in the next few weeks. And it's all going smoothly for the moment anyway.
Brian, tell me all about the big Cheltenham Preview Night down at Limerick Racecourse on Thursday the 20th.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. It's kicking off at 7:30 down at Limerick Races. We've got a brilliant panel. David Jennings, of course, of the Racing Post. We've got Davy Casey, assistant trainer to Willie Mullins. Johnny Deneen's always a firm fan favourite. Then we got Robbie Power, of course, Gold Cup winning jockey. Another Gold Cup winning jockey as well in Brian Cooper. And finally, we've got another fan favourite, Shark Hanlon. So a brilliant panel. I'm hoping they're going to unveil a whole host of winners. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, I must say.
And Brian, just on tickets, how can listeners out there who'd like to go along on Thursday night get their tickets firstly? And I do believe on the night, all proceeds from this wonderful night is going to a very worthy charity as well.
Yeah, 100%. So all proceeds are going to Irish injured jockeys. Tickets are 20 quid plus a £2 booking fee. You can get them on limerickraces.ie, or if you're local to Limerick, you can call into a Boylesports shop as well. But yeah, going to a brilliant cause. We're going to have charity bets as well for the panel. So hopefully we raise a right few quid.
And Brian, just in Boylesports at the moment, obviously it's very busy, couple of weeks out from the Cheltenham Festival. How has the AntePost market been looking for you? And of course, right after Cheltenham and into Aintree, it is, of course, Irish Grand National, sponsored the last number of years by Boylesports, and looking forward to another really big race, of course, on Easter Monday.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a turbulent few days, as you know, on the Cheltenham AntePost point of view. We've seen plenty of money for brighter days ahead to go to the champion. So that's going to set up a mouth-watering clash, I think, if Lossiemouth and Constitution rock up there. So that's the big mover over the last couple of days. But there's plenty of time between now and then. We're going to have a whole host of offers as well, David, for Cheltenham. We're already non-runner, no bet on the 5 championship races, the Ryanair Champion Hurdle, Champion Chase Stayers, and the Gold Cup. We'll be launching Pick Your Places as well next week ahead of Cheltenham. So you'll be able to pick your places in whatever race you fancy. We've non-runner, no bet on the 20th of February, all races. That coincides with that brilliant preview night down in Limerick, which I forgot to say. You'll also get a complimentary free drink, finger food, and a free bet if you head down there.
Hey,
and
Dave,
finally,
that's me coming. I'm booked in for that, Dave. Free drinks all around. Pint of Guinness, Brian, please.
Absolutely. I might join you at one, Barry.
I think when you heard the food, Barry, I think you said, oh,
Between now and Cheltenham as well, we've got our Destination Cheltenham Bank Builder. So if you place a bet on qualifying events each day, you can build up a nice free bet bank for Cheltenham. And finally, on the week, we'll have a money back as a free bet offer every single race. We're going to price boost each championship race rather. And of course, will be best odds guaranteed. So yeah, lots to look forward to at Cheltenham. Looking at the national, David, I mean, it was pretty fast and furious last year. It was the 1st of April last year, the Irish Grand National, but we've got a bit more breathing room this year. It's the 21st. So we're all going to take a deep breath after Cheltenham, I think. And that's really going to be brilliant as well. We might get plenty of Cheltenham horses rocking up at Fairyhouse too. But 11th year sponsorship for us of the Boylesports Irish Grand National, which is Ireland's richest jump race. And we're very proud for that affiliation.
And Brian, before we let you go, give us one for Cheltenham that you like. Not one of the 4 to 5 chances now, or 1 to 2 chances Constitution. I want a Brian O'Keefe one at around 10 to 1 or bigger that you think is a bit of value at the moment for Cheltenham.
Oh, I might struggle, David. My nap for Cheltenham is a little shorter, around 3 to 1. 6.5 for Gavin Cromwell in the Mayor's Novice. I think she's a real good horse.
Superb. Well, Brian, listen, thanks a million for joining us. Good luck with the Cheltenham Preview Night down at Limerick Racecourse next weekend. And we look forward to catching up with you very soon as we build up to the Cheltenham Festival.
Well, Dave,
Really
we just
appreciate it, David.
just to say, Brian, actually, look, obviously, we for listeners watching, we have, I was going to say for the month of February, we're halfway through February now, but between now, from next week onwards, we're going to be, I suppose, putting out Cheltenham Festival focused videos. So, Brian, you may get that 10-1 chance ready, because I'm sure Dave will be having Brian on the show between now and Cheltenham as well.
Well, he mightn't have known that, Barry, but he does now. And so be ready for the call, Brian. And it'll be great to have you on once again. Thanks a million for being with us this week.
Cheers, lads. Hope to see plenty of you at Limerick. Thanks again.
Yes, thanks indeed to Brian O'Keefe for joining us this week. And once again, Destination Cheltenham, that great preview night down at Limerick Racecourse next Thursday, the 20th, with a fabulous team on offer. And of course, all proceeds, Barry, they're going to the Injured Jockeys Fund.
Yeah.
And I think right now we are all prayers and thoughts are with Michael O'Sullivan and his family. And what's a difficult time for them after that bad old fall at Thurles.
Yeah, absolutely. What a gentleman, of course, Michael O'Sullivan. Look, everything crossed for Michael. Had the pleasure of doing a Cheltenham preview night with him last year in the Red Lion in Banglastown. And, look, just fingers crossed and thoughts with him and his family at the moment in his recovery. So, yeah, look, echo everything you said there, Dave. And, this time last year, he was on our show, kind enough to come on and give us his time building up to the Dublin Racing Festival. Top man. And, I'm sure everyone listening echoes the same thoughts, Dave.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave the Champ.ie podcast this week. And we thank you for joining us. And Barry will be back next Monday with the Road to Cheltenham.